G'day, so in this video today we're going to be looking at classifying solids either by the number of faces or if they're a prism or pyramid and so forth. So first you can see here, classify these solids by considering the number of faces. So all we need to do is count the number of faces and put the right prefix for it, okay? So just make sure that you are getting the right prefix. So for this first example here, we've got two faces on the end, so 1, 2, and then we've got another 3 faces around, so 1, 2, and the one at the top, 3. Bit hard to see when you've got a 2D, a 3D image as a 2D. But so total here we have 5. So the prefix for 5 is pent. So this is a pentahedron. Okay. So 5 faces. So this makes it a pentahedron. So here, our next one, we just need to do the same. Count how many faces there are. So we've got 2 on the end again. Alright, and then we need to count how many there are around. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 around and 2 on the end. So that means we have 8 faces. The prefix for 8 is oct. So this is an octahedron. Alright, and lastly, this one, we've got 1 on the base here, and then we've got 1, 2, and then the third one at the back there. So that means we've got 4 faces. So just be aware, the prefix for 4 is tetra. I always like to think of Tetris because there was always 4 squares in that, and that's why it's called Tetris. So this is a tetrahedron. Okay, so we've classified these all by how many faces they have. Now, if we look down the bottom, name these solids as a type of prisms or pyramid. Okay, so a prism or a pyramid. Okay, and we got examples of what they're looking for there. So our first one, we need to look at what's on the sides here. So I'm just going to get rid of all these little markings I've made on it. So here, our first one, we can see at the top, we've got 2 ends to it. So this means that it's going to be a prism. Okay, these 2 ends here, that means it's going to be a prism. Okay, and then we just need to see what the face of these is. Okay, so these faces of this prism, so these ends, these are triangles. So this is a triangular prism. So this is a So just remember, look at what's on the end, especially for your prisms. Okay, our next one, we've got 2 of these ends again. Okay, so this is also going to be a prism. Now we just need to figure out what kind of shape is on the end of it. Okay, so we've got, and we can just work it out, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, so that's a hexagon. So this is going to be a hexagonal prism. It's hard to say. So, lastly, we're going to be looking at this, and hopefully you can already see this, but our This one isn't a prism, this is our type of pyramid. We have the one base and they all meet at an apex at one point. So this is how you identify your pyramids. Okay, so they all meet at this point or apex at the top. Okay, so what you need to do for this is we just need to see what our base is here. So you can see here we've got a triangular base. Okay, so this triangular base here, this tells us our shape. So this is going to be a triangular pyramid. So just remember, when naming these, just have a look at the bottom or the base for your pyramids, or your sides for your prisms, or also the base. So just make sure you are looking at the right spots within these, and you shouldn't really have a problem with it as long as you remember the names of your shapes or the prefixes for how many sides there is to it. Okay, so, or the numbers of it. So good luck with this, and hopefully you can do this very well.